Welcome to the WDW Fan Zone Show, your place to find out all there is about Walt Disney World and beyond its doors and gates. And tonight we're going to get into things you can do after hours or after the parks close on Walt Disney World property. I am Stuart. I'm joined tonight by John, Kurt, and Darlene. And before we get into the topic of the show, we're going to have a couple little segments here. We're going to start off with John, who's going to tell us a little bit about our wonderful WDW Fan Zone Show app.
Good evening, everybody, or whatever time it happens to be. Wanted to catch up with everybody on some of the surveys that we've run on the WDW Fan Zone app. Again, unfortunately, only on the Apple platform, but we appreciate those of you who have used it to get to our content, including our podcasts. And a few of you have been participating in the surveys. I'd like to encourage more of you, if you have downloaded the app, just to take a quick moment sometime this week, and we're going to put a new survey question out and encourage you to just provide some quick feedback. It's going to be a yes or a no, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Click a couple of times and we will anonymously record your response to the survey. So very quickly, we've had 2 survey questions so far that we've had responses for. And those quick questions were, the first one was, would you be interested in participating in a WDW Fan Zone cruise sometime in the first half of 2025? You've heard Stuart talk about that. And without getting into the specific numbers, we had 75% of our respondents say that they were, and 25% say that they were not interested. And I won't say how many of our podcasters may have influenced those numbers a little bit. And then there was one other question to which we've had responses, and that was, are you looking forward to seeing Luminous, the Symphony of Us, on your next visit to Walt Disney World? And we actually had 100% of our respondents say yes, and 0% say no. So certainly like to get some more responses as we have more questions so that we get a better rounded response field and maybe not have them skewed. But if you get a chance and you have the app, or you have an Apple device and can get the app, look for WDW Fan Zone in the Apple App Store and go to the surveys tab on the app and just do a quick answer to it. So appreciate your feedback and engaging with us.
Thank you, John. And Kurt, you had a wonderful experience last weekend.
So we went into Chicago and we visited the Disney 100
and lived to get out of Chicago.
Oh.
We survived. Yes, yeah. It wasn't all the way into that area of Chicago you wouldn't really want to go into. It was right off the expressway, and it was the exhibit for Disney 100. It was cool. There was a lot of stuff that, if you know anything about Disney, you've already known about, but you actually got to see artifacts. So, I mean, it started with the beginning. It started with the Alice comedies, and they had, some of the pictures up there and the drawings of how they did things, and they showed how they put Alice there and the drawings behind them, and moved forward to the Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and even had the telegram that he sent to Roy saying, "Don't worry, everything's going to be fine," even though it wasn't. So to just progress there, they sectioned it off from that point because that was the history part. Then they had just an area that talked about all the music. There's another area that talked about you'd see the sketches from the earliest movies, and then where it started and where it ended up, and going on into just through the decades of here are the techniques and how much stronger things got with audio animatronics in the parks, and where they started with drawing to where they are now. The old 3D computer that they used with Pixar, it just looked like a giant box. So it was really neat to go through it all, though, and just see step by step by step. One of the things I was really surprised when I saw it, and I couldn't believe how good the color was on it still, was on the opening of Disneyland. On the video, you see Walt rolling in on the train with the engineer Mickey Mouse, and he's waving Mickey Mouse's hand. They had that Mickey Mouse there, and it was just really cool to see. I mean, I don't know why I didn't expect them to be full color and everything else, but just the condition of how great this thing was still in was really, really cool. Um, they had a different attraction. Let me see. They had a teacup, they had a Peter Pan ship, and they had a Matterhorn ship also there that you could see. So you can see the size of them, how big they really are if you've never been to the park at all. And it was just really interesting. It just went through all the different phases of the park and didn't spend a lot of time talking about the future, but it did. There were a lot of timelines, interactive things you could do. Most interactive things were working. And it really did. There was a timeline going all the way through the decade showing you this happened here, and then you'd move over to the next one. This happened here, all the way up through. So it was fun. I would recommend it if you live in Chicago. You can get tickets for as little as $25 during the week now. I believe it's down to $35 on the weekend. They offer this other pass where it's like a front of the line pass. We went at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning and walked right on in. There were not a lot of people there. I guess if you're going later in the afternoon, you might need that. But they do have a gift shop shocking. They have a gift shop at the end. So also shocking. I bought pins. So $35 for 6 pins. And it's not a lot to them. But it was a lot of fun. We both really enjoyed it. And I would recommend it. Go and see it once. It still is in really good shape. There's only a couple little things that have been broken from little fingers. So,
All right, thank you,
big
Kurt.
fingers. Yeah.
I do want to mention something. John, you brought up the survey questions with the cruise that I'm still waiting to see what interest we have. I should have, and I probably will put something up on the fan zone page, seeing if anybody's interested. The Facebook fan zone page, that is, see if anyone's interested. Because by the end of February, I'd like to either go forward with it for next year or forget about it for next year. So we'll see. We will see. And it will not be, it's getting Disney fans together on a non-Disney cruise is the way I'm looking at this, because it's unlikely we're going to get a good enough deal to get on a Disney cruise. I want to save people as much money as possible and still make sure they have a great time. So we'll see what happens. We've got a few weeks to go because we'll begin a month. We're in the beginning of February now. All right, we're going to get into the topic, and the topic of tonight's show is what is there to do at Walt Disney World when the parks are closed? I think the obvious answer is Disney Springs, but we'll save that for last. Let's go around the rest of Disney property first. And, what are some of the things you would expect to do, Darlene? Or could do?
One of the things I'd love to do is to go and play mini golf at, one of the 2 places. And I believe they're both open, Winter Summerland and Fantasia, or not Fantasia.
Fantasia Gardens.
Oh yeah, it is Fantasia Gardens. I would love to, do that one time.
Are they open after the parks close, though?
I think they're open a little later, because I went by at like 8 o'clock and the lights were on. And
for some reason, I think they close at 10, but I'm not positive of that.
Well, it depends on what park
right now.
Yeah, let me look.
Right.
But that is something that's fun to do outside of the parks, regardless of whether the parks are closed or not. But yeah, that's a good choice. I like it. I've done that myself, miniature golf at Disney World. It's fun. Lots.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 10 o'clock closes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Both of them.
Yep. Yeah, so you do have time. Parks closed, run on over there, play a few rounds of mini golf, and hey, you're good.
Yeah.
All right. John, what's something you like to do when the parks are closed?
Well, one of the things we like to do is visit some of the other resorts. We've talked about resort hopping. So some of the places we like to go are the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, the Wilderness Lodge, and the Animal Kingdom Lodge. They all have spacious lobby areas. They have shops that might be open. You might even stop in, grab a bite to eat at counter service, but they're just nice places to explore. There's usually something happening, there's people around. You could sit in the lobbies and watch TV if you wanted to. They have movies playing there sometimes, or listen to the piano playing at the Grand Floridian. They're just somewhat relaxed but interesting places to visit, especially at night when things are dark outside and homey inside.
Now, this is going to sound weird the way I'm wording it, but how did you get in? Because unless you have a reservation, we went last year. We stayed at Bay Lake Tower and went to go eat at Wilderness Lodge, and they made us show the reservation that we were eating there and order the food and said it was ready. Otherwise, we couldn't get in.
So it certainly does depend on where you're staying, but buses run an hour and a half after the parks are closed.
There's Ubers.
Yeah.
So basically, you'd have to take the bus over to like the Magic Kingdom and grab the other bus.
Or you may have, if you were visiting the Magic Kingdom and you're parked in the parking lot, you just have to take the monorail from the Ticket and Transportation Center, or take one of the, well, you wouldn't.
Okay, do the monorail. Got it.
Yeah, so that's one way to do it. Depends on where you're already staying. So if you're already staying on the monorail loop, it's easy to get there. I don't know that you have so much trouble getting into the Animal Kingdom Lodge or the Wilderness Lodge, do you? Yeah.
Wilderness Lodge, yeah, we did.
You did?
We had to show that we had pre-ordered our food.
Mm-hmm.
But then they made us order the food and not just cancel.
Yeah, but there you go. So you could order something very simple like a dessert, mobile order it ahead of time, and say you've got something at Roaring Forks or the Mara, and go in that way. I know that things have been becoming a little bit more difficult to get into places anymore, but I haven't been there in almost a year, so I haven't seen that firsthand.
Kurt.
You can stay at your own resort and go watch a movie. It used to be on the beach. Now it's somewhere in a lawn area. They have a different movie going every night. They also do, you have to buy the stick, but they do have a campfire where you can roast marshmallows. And that's a fun thing to do. We've done that before. So they used to hand them out for free, and now I think they charge $1 per stick, last I heard.
No, Vero Beach, they don't.
They don't charge yet? Yeah, that's not on Walt Disney World property.
Right, that's DVC members too, so that could be different set of rules there.
They used to, and I don't know if they still are. I know for a while they were selling like s'mores kits. They were like $5 or $6. I don't remember how many.
They might have been. We just ate dinner, so we weren't that hungry for that.
So, but yeah, Vero. I know they do things differently at Vero Beach over what they're doing at the Disney resorts for that kind of thing. That I know for a fact. But I know at least all the deluxe resorts. I don't know what they're doing at the moderate resorts. They all have the campfire going at night, and I know they got the movie going too. So
yep, they do. Fun thing to do. You're looking to be entertained, looking for shows. It's not every night, but they do have it there at night. Yeehaw Bob at Port Orleans Riverside.
Yes.
Still going strong. And I'm so glad they didn't cancel his show completely. And I think he was the one who decided to step back a little bit from doing it every night. But yeah, it's always a fun thing to do. So if anybody has never seen Yeehaw Bob, you don't know what you're missing. And the memory this guy has, he'll pick on somebody and
amazing.
It's just, you know how you go on a cruise ship and so the crew meet you and they know your name from that point on for the rest of the cruise. Well, Yeehaw Bob, it's the same way. He sees you once, he'll remember your name. All right. Darlene, what are some of the other things you like to do on property after hours?
One of the other things I like to do is go out and sit by the pool at the resorts that we're at. Anywhere from the value all the way up to the deluxe and the DVC, the pools are absolutely phenomenal. And if you want like a place where you can sit, relax, not with a lot of like kids and stuff, most of the times, and I will say most of the times, the smaller private pool areas are pretty empty because everybody goes for the theme pools.
Mhm.
I thought she was going to say she saunters up and grabs her drink from the bar and then goes over and sits at.
You know, if Lottie were here tonight, I think that would have been her first response. Would have been
I'm
like, "Yep."
saving something for later.
Oh, sorry, I'm giving it away. Sorry. Oh boy.
All right, John.
I'm going to jump over to the boardwalk, and you could have challenges depending on the time getting there. You have some options such as the Skyliner, which you can get to from different locations. If you've got a dining reservation at one of the either boardwalk, well, yeah, so you could have a dining reservation at boardwalk, or you could have a dining reservation at yacht or beach club and park at one of those three locations and have access to the boardwalk, where there's games there, there's entertainment right there on the boardwalk. You've got the Surrey bikes you can rent, or you may be staying at one of the Epcot resorts, either
Mm-hmm.
Yacht and Beach or Boardwalk, or even Swan and Dolphin. You have easy access into it that way. So depending on where you're staying and whether it's worth the effort, Boardwalk has a lot going for it, along with all the dining that there is there.
Yep.
There's so many restaurants available to you, or even counter service, pizza, lots of different choices for you there.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Kurt.
He almost touched on it. Outdoors, there's a lot of. I know it's at different resorts have this where you can actually go and play games outside.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's like you said, shuffleboard, I've seen. They actually have oversized checkers. You could play checkers out there. It's just a lot of fun. It's just something to do. Kick back. Sometimes there's just a regular checkers board out there. You can sit down and play back and forth with it. It's just fun to just relax, and there you go.
Yeah. You know, something else you can do at your own resort. If you're there with a group of friends, or you can make friends and do this. Bring a couple of board games with you or card games with you
Mm-hmm.
to Walt Disney World, and find a lounge or a place where there's table and chairs, and have a good time. Make your own fun.
Mhm.
And I
Yes.
think at some of the value resorts, they might even have some of that stuff available in or around.
You can buy cards in any of the gift shops. Have cards
Yeah.
that you can buy.
Yeah.
And if you're going to buy cards, I recommend they actually have some that are, I don't know if they have them on the Disney property. They have waterproof cards. They're plastic.
Really?
So that way you don't have to worry if you're playing it over around a pool, you don't have to worry about them getting destroyed.
Yeah. All right, Darlene. Kirk just gave you a hint for something.
I'm going with what I wanted to say when you guys all said something. So I know when we've gone, and especially when I stay with friends, we like to go and check out the different like spots, like the Enchanted Rose, you know, uh, oh, it was at the tip of my tongue, and I'm thinking of Cape May Cafe because I ate there and it was delicious. Oh, what's the little lounge over there, John, that we always do the WDW radio meetup?
At which
After the running
resort? At which resort?
beach club.
At Beach Club.
Cape May,
Cape May Cafe?
not the cafe.
Ariel, or what's I forget what it's called.
Oh, I'm gonna bite my tongue.
Not beaches and cream.
No.
No.
Do that outdoors.
Yeah.
with the
Well,
water.
indoors too. But a friend of mine was just there, and she said she didn't really like her food.
At
What?
beaches and cream.
Yeah, she was very disappointed. She ordered a French dip, and there was no meat on it whatsoever.
Wow. That must
Yeah,
have been an off night. Or your friend has very particular tastes.
yeah, that could be.
Food is subjective. It's
Yeah.
I
Um,
see. If I was going to Beaches and Cream, and I know it's a full restaurant, I'm really going for the ice cream. That's
yeah.
just
I
me.
go for the No Way
It looks like an.
Jose.
It looks like it's designed to look like an old soda shop. Give me my ice cream.
Yeah, it's right. It's like an old-fashioned ice cream parlor, as far as I'm concerned. That's what. And Kurt's right. You go there for the ice cream desserts.
I don't go to I don't go to seafood restaurants anyways, but I don't go to seafood restaurants and rip on them because I can't eat the seafood if their chicken isn't quite as good. They're not specializing in chicken; they're specializing in seafood. And again, it's been a long time since I ate at Beaches and Cream, but again, Beaches and Cream to me is still that it's a dessert store, dessert place. They offer food.
Yeah. Just want to mention something. Disney. You know what Disney needs? They used to have. Remember, they used to sell McDonald's fries at a stand. They need to come. They need
Yes.
to. They have the egg roll stand now. Come, give us back a French fry stand. You can bring back the Figaro fries. You can have different kinds of fries, poutine. Give us a French fry stand with a variety of choices in park. All right, I just wanted to mention that. Let's continue. Where were? Oh, John.
Your turn.
You're-
Well, back
No,
to me.
you.
No,
Did you go, Stuart?
No, I went. Yeah, I went before Darlene.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. So depending on your location, I keep coming up with things that not everybody can get to easily. But if you are at one of the Magic Kingdom resorts, there, and it could either be over on Seven Seas Lagoon or over on Bay Lake, there is the electrical water pageant that goes on between 8:25 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. And you could even be in your room to watch it depending on where you're situated. But
Mhm.
it's long time entertainment that's been at the Walt Disney World. It's a favorite a lot of longtime Disney fans.
Yeah. All right, Kurt.
You just stole mine.
Oh no.
You absolutely stole it.
Mm.
I think we all had that on our list.
Lisa she lives so close to the park behind the lake. She was actually played a video that she goes, "How close are we to the parks?" And you could hear it playing in the background.
All right.
And I was like, "Oh, I love sitting on my balcony, just watching the water, watching things calm down, and watching that go by."
Yeah. Well, and that's an important reminder as you are planning your Walt Disney World trip. This is one of the things to keep in mind as you're choosing your resort. What are some
Right.
of the nighttime
Right.
amenities,
Activities.
entertainment that you might consider?
Right.
And there's lots different resorts offer different things, but there
Right.
is a reason for staying at one of the Magic Kingdom resorts.
Absolutely.
Okay, so since you stole that one,
No, sorry.
I'm gonna go back to the Wilderness Lodge. You can actually go to the front desk and ask for a hidden Mickey sheet. And they will give you clues to where to find 20 different hidden Mickeys. I believe there's 20 of them there. Now, one or two of them you can't get because they're literally inside of a room and you Hi, can I come and see the hidden? No, you're not gonna knock on someone's door and do that. But somewhere in the hallway, there's specific lights that
Yep.
one specifically is different. They're hidden in the fireplace that's right there in the main lodge. There's a couple that are outside. Again, if you're doing it at night, you have to be careful when you're looking for the ones outside. Don't go staring in people's windows and don't go shining flashlights up on the totem pole or on the poles. That's one that you're going to want to do in the daytime. So use caution when you're doing it. But I think we found all but 3 the last time we did that.
That's cool.
So it's a lot of fun.
The carpeting, they had them there in the carpeting.
In the carpeting, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't going away until they redo the carpeting.
No. Well, and they're actually in the posts outside and
Right.
some inside.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to tear down that wood.
No.
So they're not going anywhere.
They might repaint it at some point. Well,
True.
when I say repaint, they'll freshen it up. They're not going to.
Right. And over at Animal Kingdom, they actually have one there. If you're outside and you walk back in, you can only see it at night because of the way the light shines up on it. When you walk back in from the observation area, that's when you can see it.
Yeah. Well, if anybody's like me and you've spent the day in the parks and the parks are now closed, and before you go back to your room, you don't really have any snacks in your room and you're hungry, that's a good time to have either a second dinner or a late night meal snack. And it doesn't have to be at your resort. It could be at another resort. Although your resort is fine, it could be counter service, depending on what resort you're staying at. It could be a sit down that you've had reservations for. Enjoy a meal. Go to sleep fat and happy like me. All right, Darlene.
So the next thing I like to do, which I'm not even sure you can do this anymore, but we used to be able to, because they put everything right on the televisions in the room, used to rent videos. So, but now with all the streaming and everything, I'm sure they do stream things on the television from Disney Channel and that for even the little ones to watch, just to relax in the room. And if you have a balcony, it's the best place to sit. The one year we had a balcony and we had a corner view and we had a view of Spaceship Earth when the arm was still there and it had year 2000 on it. That was pretty cool.
And if you're staying in a resort where you don't have a balcony, you would suggest just put on the TV and go through the channels and see what's on and relax watching some TV.
Even at like Port Orleans, Riverside, when we were there, we would just sit outside on the steps and stuff. Oh, the old Dixie Landings, if people still remember that. But
have you ever gone to the laundry and watched the cycles just spin around?
Sadly, no. But I have done laundry on a trip before, so I've used it, and it works out good. Everything washes and dries perfectly fine.
Martha, it's 10 o'clock. I don't want to go to sleep yet. Let's go to the laundry room and watch the spin cycle.
You know what, though? That's something that a lot of Disney fans do in the evenings after the parks are closed.
Yes, they do.
Their laundry.
That's
especially if you're Disney Vacation Club and you got it right there in your room.
Yes.
Yep.
If you have a 1-bedroom, not in a deluxe.
No, not in the studio. Studio's not available.
Coming in here.
However, if you do have a studio, they do have an area where you can go to the laundry room, and it's all done digitally on your phone. And it's all included. So it's only if you're DVC though. Sorry. Otherwise, it doesn't seem too expensive to be doing that.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting to see if Disney someday will try to increase their revenue stream by having the only way you can have your laundry done is you have a service come with somebody to pick it up like they do on cruise ships, launder it for you and bring it back.
Well, you know what? But they could always do some kind of themed laundry. So it'd be a laundry facility that people want to go visit. They can have food and ice cream and music and character. I don't know.
You know what? It would make it enjoyable while you wait for your laundry.
Yeah. No, we keep coming up with great ideas here, don't we?
Yeah, except Disney doesn't appear to like any of them because they haven't implemented.
Oh yeah, they didn't latch on to that. What do you do to remember your past loved ones down at Walt Disney World? At least not that we know of.
Yeah.
No, not legally.
All right, John.
I think it's John's turn. Yep,
it is.
Well, we haven't stated the obvious yet, so I'm going to state the obvious, and that is you can buy tickets to after-hours events at Epcot or Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, and they even have the H2O Glow, which doesn't look like it's been announced for 2024 just yet. but you've got lots of after hours events. And then there's certainly the special ones, depending on the time of year around Halloween for Mickey's Not So Scary, and for Christmas and the holidays, and Mickey's Very Merry Party. But there's lots of after hours events that are scheduled at different times of the year.
True.
I think there's everything but Animal Kingdom Lodge. Is that true? I'm not aware of one at Animal Kingdom. I'm not Animal Kingdom Lodge, the Animal Kingdom Park.
I don't believe they do an after hours at Animal Kingdom.
I know they've had parties there for
DVC.
yeah,
Moonlight
DVC
Magic.
and
Moonlight Magic, right?
Yeah, they've also, I think they've done it where a corporation or two here or there has rented it out after
Rented it
hours.
out, correct, right?
But I don't believe they've opened it up as an after hour ticketed event for guests.
Right.
And I do know Moonlight Magic is returning over to Typhoon Lagoon. I just got a notice on it I think there's one in June and there's one in either July or August that they're doing. So if they're doing it for Disney Vacation Club, I'm sure they're going to open up for guests that'll actually pay that kind of money for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. I almost gave away my next one. If you're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, hopefully they're still doing this. I haven't seen it in a while. They have the nighttime goggles where you can actually put them on and see the animals outside that are on the savannah. So it's pretty cool to see them with those nighttime goggles on.
I think you do have to stay at the resort.
You do.
Yeah. Yes, that wouldn't be open for everybody, but like John had said before, that's the reason you pick certain resorts. Yeah. One of my favorite resorts to go to at night is the Polynesian. There's something about the Polynesian at night where you don't even feel like you're in Florida at that point. In certain
tiki
parts,
torches.
And the best part of it, you can get a Dole Whip.
That's right. Yes, it's all the tiki torches that everything is lit up with the tiki torches out there. It's fun.
It's a cool atmosphere.
Yep.
And the shops there, I love the shops there more than any other resort. Anybody else have anything else they want to mention before we get to the elephant in the room, which is Disney Springs? Okay, John.
I think this applies to just about any of the resorts on property, but some of them is particularly, and that is walking around your resort. So you've done a lot of walking during the day, but you can relax and walk around. If you have some ice cream or you have a drink or a snack, or just you have somebody you want to take a pleasant walk with. So if you're staying at Art of Animation, you can walk between the different themed areas. Fort Wilderness, there's a lot of walking availability there, especially during the holidays when all the lights are up. All-Star Sports, walk around the resort and see all the different theming, or any of the All-Star resorts. Pop Century.
Go through the decades. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Coronado Springs, Caribbean Beach. If you're at one of the Epcot resorts, and we talked about this earlier, you can go to the boardwalk, but you can walk the entire way around Crescent Lake. You can visit the other resorts there, or you can walk down to Disney Hollywood Studios and back. So lots of places to walk, relax, and unwind. You mentioned the Polynesian is a great one to walk around as well. So just walking around your resort, I think, can be relaxing and pleasant in the evening as well.
Yeah. Something else I don't believe we mentioned, relaxing at a pool at night. I mean,
I think Darlene talked about sitting at the pool.
I'm sorry?
With a drink.
Well, yeah, I thought she was talking about the lounges.
That was with a drink, It's like you have a 10-year-old. You're not going to give your 10-year-old a drink.
Well, it doesn't have to be an alcoholic drink.
No, it does not. But I don't want to be relaxing at a pool with a kid at night either.
You're saying
so now I know at Kidani Village, that's where they show their movies at night, is in the pool. So at the pool, so you could literally be sitting there at the pool. I think they might even have they used to have like the giant inner tubes and stuff that would be in there, and you could just sit in the inner tube and watch the movie.
Yeah, when my kids were little, what we used to do? We used to go back to, if we were staying at one of the all-star resorts or a value resort, we would go to the food court.
Mm.
Fill up our refillable mugs, which at the time you could fill them up 1,000,000 times. Get,
Mhm.
maybe a little bite to eat and just sit there and relax. And then when the kids started to nod out, we'd bring them up to the room and okay, bedtime.
Definitely.
Anything else that anybody wants to mention?
No, I think John hit my other
Most
one,
of it.
so I'm good.
Yep. All right, now we're gonna head over to Disney Springs, and Darlene, I'm gonna let you start off your favorite thing to do after parks close in Disney Springs, besides
Shop,
yelling.
shop, shop, shop.
I thought you were gonna. You know what? This is why we need Lottie here, because I thought you were gonna say something Lottie might say.
I already got one set up exactly where I would go. So.
Well, and then, of course, you can go to any of the places, like bring your refillable mug and go to Art Smith's Homecoming. You can get a non-alcoholic refill, or you can get an alcoholic refill of their like moonshine or their margarita, or what was the other one? Blue Hooch, and then there's one other one. I think it's like a rum punch or something.
I'm so glad I don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Except on a
Wine
very
Bar George
special
also
occasion.
has a refillable cup that you can get filled. You got Gideon's Bakery.
Oh, speaking of Gideon's Bakery, for those of you who have a Costco near you, and granted they don't have a variety choice, it's just this double chocolate chip cookie. Oh my God.
It's huge. It's
Yeah,
like
it is the best
big.
chocolate chip cookie I've ever had.
Where?
It kicks rear end on
Costco.
Gideon. Costco.
It's like
Costco food court.
$2.39 or something like that. It's affordable.
$2.49, yeah, Costco food court.
At the food court. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took out the churro and they brought in a cookie instead.
We're going there
Good
tomorrow.
decision.
I don't have a Costco near me, so.
And it's warm, I believe, isn't it?
It is. It's freshly. I mean, they can't bake them fast enough sometimes. It's, oh my God.
Yeah, I have not had it yet, but I watched someone eating it and I said, good. And they're like, yes, very much.
Oh, best chocolate chip cookie ever. All
I'll
right,
let you try it.
John.
I'm going to say a place that I have yet to visit. I've always had intentions of getting there. I haven't done it yet, but that's Splitsville. So taking in some bowling, getting some
I haven't done it yet
food, and I still hope to do it sometime. I don't quite know how you bowl if you're eating French fries or pizza and your fingers are all greasy, but
They do bring it to you at the courts. I've seen people.
Yeah, that's not the thing though. If you've got greasy fingers, you're going to drop the ball. So you got to learn. We learned that you eat with the left hand and you bowl with your right hand.
Yeah.
I got you, John.
All right, Kurt.
I'm going to Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. I love that place. And the last time I went there, I didn't even have any alcohol. So just the whole ambiance, everything there. You got the boat on the outside there where they might have you sit. There's so much stuff inside of there that's all archaeology related. You might even see an Ark of the Covenant hiding up in the corner somewhere. There's an old like dive bell where they cut the side out and you can eat inside of there even. It's quite the place to go. There's a reason why there's a line to get in there a lot of times.
Yeah. And I am going to take everybody to the AMC Theater for a late night movie, but I must caution everyone. If you're tired from being in the parks for a full day, the chairs are very comfortable. You might go to sleep during the movie. All right. Now, Darlene, I don't know if you have another one, but before you get into anything, why don't you tell us about your favorite shops that you like to go to at night that makes it a fun evening at Disney Springs?
Well, it's kind of like you walk through. I always park down by the Orange Garage, and you go in and you have like the Cauldron, you have the Star Wars, the Marvel, and that. I like going into those stores. Then the one unique store is the Disney Style store. They have different merchandise than any place else that
Yeah.
you can find. So it's unique. Then if you go down towards walking, you got your Lego store, you got the World of Disney store. You have the boozy marshmallows now. um, they've got a pet stand, a sock stand. All these like little places are really cute at Disney Springs that they have these like little pop-up things. Then you also go, you have your World Disney, the co-op. That's really cool where you can even go and like design your own phone case and that. There's a lot of different things to do there. They have the big toy store too.
It's not nearly as big as it used to be.
Correct.
Once Upon a Toy is literally a
Right.
quarter the size that it used to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's good. And the Christmas tree store. Oh my word, do I love the Christmas tree store. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. No matter what time of year you go, yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your next thing to mention, or was that it?
Oh no, then I like going along the walkway and getting, like a Dole Whip. Because they switched where it is. It's on the walkway now where you can buy the palmerias and stuff like that.
Whirls on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And you can get a margarita over on the other side.
Of course you can. Anything
Of
alcohol.
course you can.
And if your
The
little
Lava
kitties
Lounge.
want to go, they can go on the little merry-go-round and stuff that they have there.
Yeah. All right, John.
One of the things I like to do very much so at Disney Springs is go to Ghirardelli and
Mm-hmm.
get some kind of. Is there a sundae you can? What's the name of the sundae that they have there?
Let me
The
look it
real
up right
big
now.
one that you can share. I've done that once with a big group of people. My oh my! But I prefer to get my own sundae, and it can be pretty crowded. There can be a long line, but I think that the product you get is worth the wait.
They have several specialty sundaes.
The one that John likes,
It's
though. We want to know that one.
smooth.
What's the biggest one?
Kitchen sink. No, that's a peaches and cream.
Right.
There's a cookie crumble hot fudge sundae. There's a Treasure Island warm brownie sundae. The magical hot fudge, world famous hot fudge.
Maybe they don't have.
Oceans and beach salted caramel.
Yeah, but there was one that you could share with a whole family.
Is it the Golden Gate banana split?
I don't remember anymore. It's been too long.
And
they may not even have the same thing anymore. So
it might not. Land's End salted caramel brownie sundae. Now I want a sundae.
Oh gosh.
Thanks, John.
Cookies and sundaes, yes. I'm going to Costco tomorrow for cookies, and now Kurt wants to fly down to get a Ghirardelli.
You have to get that chocolate chip cookie, John.
I can get ice cream at Costco as well.
Okay.
I was just there yesterday. Oh.
Yeah, it's good.
Kurt.
I've got two go-tos that we always have to go to when we're there. One is the Lego store, because that Lego store is considered it's like a flagship store. There are things you can find in that Lego store that I can't find at any of the local ones.
That's very true. I know people who've traveled across the state in Florida to go to that Lego store to get something.
Yeah. There was a specific one that I'm like, oh, I want to get this. Oh, I already spent this much money, so I'll wait. I wish I bought it. It was only like $30. And watch, now next time I go down, they won't have it anymore. So I'll kick myself if it's gone. But then the second store is the Pin Trader store. They've got them. You're looking for a pin, they've got a lot of pins there. So, and I'll save my other place for the next one around.
Okay. I'm going to take everybody over to the House of Blues. it's live entertainment. I love the shop there, and what I love even more than their shop there and all those great T-shirts they sell there is inside the restaurant. Great food. It's just a good time whenever you go there. And for Disney or something on Disney property, the prices are relatively reasonable. All right, Darlene, we are back to you.
Well, another thing that you can do is you can catch a lot of musical performances
Mhm.
around Disney Springs now again,
Yep.
which is really cool. A lot of them are like there's an outdoor venue at House of Blues. There's also an outdoor venue at Splitsville, and then they set up in outside the AMC and stuff sometimes, or by
World of Disney has the Advent Waterside stage.
yeah, they have that. But I was talking more by the Disney style water performance area over there. They have a lot of pop up people, so which is kind of cool that you can always hear music.
Yeah. Okay, John. Tis your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little more generic here. There's so much from which you can choose there, but I'm going to take us back to one of the themes I shared earlier, and that is just walking around. So there's so much
Mhm.
space there to walk around. You could even walk over to Saratoga Springs and have more places to visit if you don't want to spend money, or you just want to look out at the water, the lights reflecting on the water, look at the people go by, whatever. So I like walking around just to see everything.
Yeah. Kurt.
Well, you brought this up earlier about going over and just grabbing some food and stuff like that afterwards. And, you've been eating everything. I mean, chicken fingers, hamburgers, hot dogs. It's the same basic things at all these fast food restaurants. So, luckily, the evil sandwich queen isn't here tonight.
Uh-oh.
It's my favorite place to go for a hearty sandwich is the Earl of Sandwich. It's
Mm.
great to hop over there. You grab your sandwich. You can either read it right there. You can take it back to your room, however you want to do it, depending on which way you get it, if you get it cold or if you get it warm. It's a nice, big, filling meal that's an inexpensive meal.
Darlene, maybe you can back me up on this or correct me if you think I'm wrong. But Kurt, I'm a big fan of Earl of Sandwich.
Uh-oh.
But I think their sandwiches have been made a little bit smaller over the last couple of years. Yes, it's a good price still compared to everything else, in Disney Springs, but you're not getting as big a bang for your buck anymore. They've kind of like made the sandwiches a little bit tinier.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's sad. They still taste
normally
great.
the
Don't get me wrong;
Caprese.
they taste great.
The Caprese or the Holiday is my favorite there.
My wife would get the Caprese. I always get the original 1762, which is the roast beef, cheddar, and horseradish. It's still $8.99.
They do have salads on the menu. The salad is still a good sized portion.
What's a salad?
All right. Where am I going to take
That's
you guys?
funny.
The Art of Disney.
Yes, that was my next stop.
If you want to go broke, that's a great place to go.
Right.
They have some wonderful things there. A lot of things are autographed by Imagineers. Sometimes they have Imagineers. They're doing artwork and signings as well. It's a fun place to stop and spend a little bit of time browsing and purchasing some of the wonderful items there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my Father's Day gift will be coming from there. We already saw it. Hopefully, it's still there, but it's
Headless Horseman.
yeah. It's just you could walk around in that shop for easily a half hour and still not see everything.
Yeah.
Just don't touch.
True. They've got one of a kind things there. It's
Yeah.
just,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They have it was a check signed by Walt. or paint deposit or something. It was something. It was signed by Walt. I was like, oh no, that's cool.
Yeah. Anybody else have anything they want to mention? John, of course.
I have one favorite I almost forgot, and it's a place where you can shop and eat, and that's Goofy's Candy Company.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which
That's
one
good.
of our favorites is to visit there. And I can't walk out without buying something I'm going to eat right away, but also buying some things to take with me, either home as souvenirs or to eat later in the resort room or whatever. But they've got some, you talk about cookies and cupcakes and candy. And during the holidays, they have some special treats as well, as well as boxed items. So it's a favorite.
Yeah, I know someone who works there. So I don't want to mention her name because I'll make fun of her.
Uh-oh.
And I don't want to because she'll get mad. But she's one of the better cast members that work there. Just trying to give her a plug without mentioning her name. So she tries to make sure that her and the rest of the people there give their customers, the guests that come in, exemplary service. And
That's
all
awesome.
you need to really do though there when you go there is behave. Don't open up the bags of candy. Don't take don't fill these bags up with candy and then when you hear the price, go, oh, can afford it. Just ask questions if you're not sure.
There's a shop there. It's a corner shop across from, I believe it's the Polite Pig. It's called Uniqlo.
Unique.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a Japanese label.
It is, right.
It's 2 stories tall, and the clothes are affordable.
Yes, they are.
They are.
They're unique
quality.
items too. Yeah.
They have
And
a lot
they
of Disney
very
stuff,
unique.
too.
very well.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've gotten some Disney T-shirts there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. I think I bought a pair of Disney socks there. And the weird thing is when you go to check out, you just put everything into a box. I didn't even get my socks into the box yet, and it was already like, oh, you want to buy a pair of socks? They're $5.99. I went, how did you know that? I don't know how it works. I don't know what it's doing. But my wife bought a pair of pants. She put them in there. Boom! It just knew right away what it was. So it was boom, boom, boom. Credit card done. See ya.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there were a lot of high-end shops at Disney Springs and not so high-end shops at Disney Springs, but quality. You're not going to find anything but quality at Disney Springs.
Oh, Cirque.
Yes.
I need to go to that.
I need
Drawn
to
to life.
How did we forget that?
Drawn to life.
Oh my God, what a great show.
I just
What a
remember that.
great
I
show.
have not seen
Well,
it yet.
You know
I
what?
want to go see it.
Technically, Cirque is not. There are no shows after the park closed. The shows are all before.
Oh, they are.
Yeah. But because it is in Disney Springs and it is something else to do, I am going to allow it, and especially since a good friend of mine works there.
Well, it could be after you're done at the parks, even though the parks are
Yes.
closed.
Good. There you go.
They have shows at 5:30 and 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So technically, depending, like last week, I know the Magic Kingdom on Monday closed.
4:30
It closed early.
Yep.
So hey, it's
Animal
after
Kingdom.
the parks.
Animal Kingdom. There's parts of the year it closes at 7. Darlene's falling asleep.
So yes, you could go and see.
I got a
It's all cool.
eyelash in my eye and I can't get it out. Did you see me going like this?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like wiggle it.
The show at Cirque is one of the better things you'll find anywhere in property. And I'm not saying that because I know somebody that works there. I'm saying that because I've gotten to see the show. It is phenomenal. Wow, the performers there, it's the training that they must go through to perform some of the acts that they can. And I don't know how they contort their bodies the way they do and can do some of the things they do, but it's just phenomenal. And it's a great story. An absolutely great story. There's a lot of ties into Disney in that story.
Now,
I've seen one show at our theater in Buffalo, New York, when we lived there, and I've heard that that was not a true show. You have to see it in their own theater. It's
We've seen them
10 times
3 times,
better.
I think. We've seen them 3 times in Chicago, and they literally set up the tent, stake the tent down, and everything.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's absolute. The stuff that I've seen them do. It's like you said, Stuart. I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't either. It's just they're phenomenal performers. Absolutely phenomenal.
Now, for something else to do, I'd never do this because it's like jumping out of an airplane. To me, there's no good reason to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. But has anyone ever gone up
No,
in
that balloon.
the balloon in
No.
aerofoil?
No.
Characters in
can't do
flight.
Yeah.
I've done it in a real untethered balloon and gone up a couple of thousand feet.
Wow.
You have fun with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy.
But
I
that was
can't
here.
do it.
That was here in Pennsylvania.
We see them flying around in the morning, in the springtime a lot
Yeah.
down
Yeah,
here.
okay.
Well, the minute we actually watched it one time. One of those balloons came over and landed right outside of Animal Kingdom Lodge. It's time to come down. That's where it came down at. I've actually seen them. The 4th of July, one of our local towns did a eyes in the sky thing with all the balloons, and my wife and I woke up early one morning and we're like, "What's that noise?" And there's a big shopping center across the street from our house, and a balloon was landing right there in the shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
It's my fear going up in that balloon, even though it does have the ropes that keep you tied down a bit, is that I'll go up, but I'll come down like the Hindenburg.
That's what I'm afraid. It goes up, it's got to come down.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid I'd
Right.
lean over too far and a rope would break and I'd be falling out, hanging out for dear life. No, thank you.
Yeah. All right. I think that's going to do it for us this week. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Oh, you know what? I do want to mention something. Well, just talk briefly because there are people that do stay off property. So if you're staying off property, as much as there is to do on property, you probably have more access to do things off property. So I do want to mention a couple of things. Although I don't think it's anywhere near as nice as Disney Springs, there's City Walk by Universal, but you also have to pay for parking there to have access to that. There's a bunch of things that you can do. A lot of restaurants, a lot of bars in the area, a lot of shows. Downtown Orlando has a lot of clubs to go to if you're looking for something completely different. So I just wanted to bring that up for anybody who's looking to go off property. And I'm not going to go into anything specific, but that's the extent I'm going to mention that.
There's something else that we didn't mention.
What's that?
It's the amphicars.
Oh, that's right.
The amphicars at the
Right.
boathouse.
How did we
They run
forget
until
that?
10 p.m. at night.
That's right. How did we forget that? My God.
I so want to go out in that thing, but hang on, what's the prices of those things?
That's why you haven't.
Yeah.
Why we haven't done it yet?
Mhm.
$125 per car. I believe it. Yeah, it's a 20-minute guided tour. They just go around the lake.
Well, how many people can you fit in that car? 4?
3.
You have to have the driver.
comfortably.
Right.
The driver, you
Right.
could fit, if you got 2 young kids and one in the back. So they say 3 to 4 people.
All right, so let's say
whatever you
4,
do-
just for argument's sake.
I did hear him say, "Okay, whatever you do, don't touch that handle unless you do not want to open up the car door while you are driving."
You know, but if you have 4 people in the car, it comes out to $31.25 a person. I'm sure the
But it's-
$125 is before tax.
It's
So
a
long as
small
they're not in the
car.
same family.
Stuart, the 4 of us could not fit in that car.
True.
It's
I
a
wouldn't
small
think-
car.
Yeah.
We'd be fighting over who gets the front seat and who's got their knees and their chin in the back
You know
seat.
what?
Sorry, Darlene, you're in the
You would
back
think
seat.
It's generally going to be 2 people.
the trunk.
Generally, 2 people sitting in the back. It's probably going to be a couple, either a couple or a family with 2 young children that can fit in there.
Well, that's it. We watched a family of 4. The dad was in the front seat.
Mhm.
Mom was in the back in the middle. The 2 kids were on the outsides so they could see. And that's when they're like, keep your hands inside, kiddies. Everyone has to be, I think they were seatbelted in place too, so that no one, try to jump or anything. If I
It
remember
makes
correctly, that was
sense
the-
because
it's
you
like a
don't want
lap belt.
you don't want a kid trying to jump out of the car into the lake.
Yep, very true. Very true.
So
All right. That is going to do it for us this week. We will be back next week with another episode of the WDW Fan Zone Show. So until then, everybody, be safe, be yourself. Bye-bye.
good night, everybody.
Well, I'm going to share that we hope that we've shared tonight that the answer to what you can do at night is, I'm sorry, we hope that what we've told you tonight tells you that the answer to the question I'm going to ask you is a yes. And that question is, can you feel the love tonight? The peace the evening brings. So we hope that our evening with you has been a pleasant one and you come back and see us next week. Good night.
Have a magical night. Stay safe. Pack your sunscreen and your winter gloves because it's still cold outside.